Hello everyone, this is FDV's vladerag here to bring you Funcast number 7. Now you will notice this replay bar shows an hour-and-a-half long game. It is not. This is Peep Mode, and we have a tournament qualifier match between Rewind and The. At the very end of this qualifier match number 11, there are several matches in this replay, and you might notice that there's that little expand there where I thought, I'll just speed right through it, and then it occurred to me, why should I speed through it? I'm just gonna cast this entire thing in segments. Each preceding match will be a fun cast, and every one after it, and the final one here will be our qualifier. So let's see what happens today. Already seen a pylon on the low ground. Maybe we're looking at a Forge Fast Expand from Rewind. That would make sense. I do like that build. It's my preferred opening versus Zerg. Seeing some droning going on from Nelvahill. I think I saw, as I was speeding through, that he does go pool before hatch. Makes sense. It's not always considered the safest thing to go hatch first versus Protoss. I mean, most Protoss probably aren't going to do really all that much pressure, just because why risk it? Because Zerg counterattacks can be quite powerful. On the other hand, it's just preference, I guess. How well do you think you can hold off Cannon Rush, basically? How well do you think you can hold off, a bunch of Zealots warping in? It's all basically your opinion. Now, one thing I dislike about Peep Mode is that I can't look at both the resource counts at once without, doing this and opening this up. But that'll be fine. We'll be able to get the general gist of things, like that their macro isn't exactly 100% perfect. But hey, whatever. You know what? It's fine. Everything is going to be fine. Doing basically the right thing here. This is a fun cast. We're going to have fun. I forget, that's the Overmind symbol, right? Yeah, I think it is. It's like level 30 Zerg turf symbols. I honestly, when Blizzard, decided, let's have the turf symbols not be representative of wins, but like level for these things, I always thought to myself, I don't like it as much. It takes sort of the fun out of it. When you meet and you have this awesome, marking that you're just like, yeah. That's what I have. Although I must confess, every single one of my markings for every race is the Aquile Brood, or not the Aquile tribe, or whatever, however you pronounce that for Protoss. I will mention that if you do a Forge Fast Expand, you want to go Pylon, Forge, Nexus. And that's going Forge first. I do detail this in my Learn to Play video about the Forge Fast Expand. But hey, whatever. Also, you want gas as Protoss. Like, you really want gas. You want to have 50 gas. Well, actually, if you really want to have, 100 gas when your Cybercore finishes, so that you can afford to put down, your Warp Gate and your Stalker. There's some builds, which I will be detailing later in my Learn to Play build edition, that involve a Mothership Core expand, that want to have, around 100 gas when that Cybercore finishes, because then you can, and by the way, you can just walk the probe through by clicking on any mineral patch outside of your base. Oh my gosh, is he going to... Hold on. Where is he looking now? Okay, I was just thinking, or maybe he was testing it for Zerglings. That's actually not all that uncommon. I always think to myself, okay, now that I have everything ready, can I get a probe through? Because if the probe can't get through, then Zerglings can't get through, and that's always a good thing. You do not want Zerglings running into your base. I would suggest that you put a pylon back here where you want to keep your tech, just because keeping all your pylons at the front means that one Baneling bust basically takes all your supply and all your power at once. Just never a good idea. Also, if all your if everything is right here, you get really weak to just one attack, one push at one location. You want to sort of spread your tech and your structures out just a little bit. Just a little bit. And now, because this is a fun cast, let's look at it from... Oh, wow. Lings look rather funny. Observer, yeah, I guess they must have observer chat on so that they can read what the observer is saying. So we're going to take a look at this from the's perspective. He is going to be my mouse, my hands, my camera. You have the lead. Looking at that Overlord twiddle everything there. By the way, have you ever noticed that sort of the mark of a caster is that they have to do an Overlord impression? Like, I mean, there's Husky's blah 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 blah. And Day 9, you know, does his whatever. I don't even know how to... I can't do an Overlord voice, really. And even if I could, I would not. I would just be like, you know what? I think the modern Overlord has just lost its Overlord way. Because I remember back in Brood War, in StarCraft 1, they were just like, like that. Not like this, no, they were, oh god, I must sound like a complete idiot. I'm sure that anybody walking by is just like, who the heck is that dude? I mean, call the Straitjacket Patrol, let's get him out of there. Okay, enough of this. I sort of want my control back. We're going to take a look here. I accidentally pressed 1 and it revealed Nelvahill sending in a slow Overseer. I will mention that you probably want to have the wow, that really is slow. You really want to have the movement speed upgrade if you want to send the Overseer in. I don't really understand why the Overseer is sent in at all. Why don't you just send a Changeling and do it? The Changeling is faster than the Overseer. Well, now it's not. Now he's got the upgrade. Now the Overseer's faster, but there's no real reason to sacrifice your Overseer or to even hurt it. You could drop a Changeling, and if the Changeling is denied, then you send your Overseer in. I also would love to see a lot more creep spread out of Nelvahill and third base. You can really easily take a fast third against Protoss going Forge Fast Expand because, well, what are they gonna do? Right? I mean, so you basically want to go, you know, like 14 pool, 15 hatch, and then just another hatch. Just throw it down, whatever. He is finally going to be taking that. We're seeing everything going according to plan. Seems to be sort of a robo gateway. Basically, if I was Zerg and I scouted this, I would be saying, okay, he's going to push out really soon with a bunch of, you know, gateway units, a couple of upgrades, and some immortals. And, you know, it's not really a bad idea because, but that is a bad idea though. Okay, listen. Never use Lings, Hellbats, or Zealots, or Ultralisks. Anything melee. Do not use melee to kill these towers. You lose things. Do people not know that things die when they're crushed by this rock? Really, they do. Like, if you, I just thought of the weirdest micro trick ever. Force field them in and then kill the rock. I don't know. The new most efficient way to kill Ultralisks. I guess, you know, go to micro. I will mention that basically if he was not missing his warpins, this money would just disappear. Also, if he was getting upgrades, he really wants upgrades. +1 attack, foremost among them, because if you have an upgrade advantage against Zerg, Zealots will kill Zerglings like 33% faster. It really is like 33% faster because they take 2 hits instead of 3 hits to kill them, and that's really, really important. We do see an observer moving in, but hey, it's been spotted. Rewind is wise to that. I've been saying that a lot. Here's the problem. I always think to myself every game, well, oops, I need a new catchphrase. And then I use that catchphrase to death, so I can never use it again. I need to, like, mix them up in a game, get, like, you know, several different ones, and use them separately. Anyway. You know, I recently also uploaded, like, 13 videos at once, and I soon realized that if you upload that many, just this huge wave, people just don't even want to watch any of them. They're just like, yeah, that is way not interesting. I will mention that Nelvahill has an Ultralisk Cavern and a Greater Spire off 2 bases. He cannot afford this. He really can't. You can't get Broodlords and Ultralisks off 2 bases. You can't get Broodlords and Ultralisks off 3 bases. I don't even know if you could do it off 4, honestly. You wouldn't really have room for anything else. And by the way, one Void Ray could basically ruin your life. So perhaps not the best way to go in any case. I will mention that Ultra Broodlord would ruin this terribly bad. We are probably going to be seeing triple Robo. But you can't, okay, listen, you can't get Ultra Broodlord off 2 base, you can't support triple Robo and 5 gateways and upgrades off 1 base. You can't do it. It is impossible. I mean, yeah, he's got enough bank, but that's because, oh gosh. I don't even know what to say, except that Nelva Hill's map control is impressive. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. Nothing is going to happen on this map that he doesn't know about. And that's actually one of the things I worry about versus Zerg. I've been working on, I don't know if I've mentioned that I plan to have an episode for theory crafting coming out fairly soon. Whenever that does come out, I've been changing a lot. Originally it was supposed to be on the 12 pool expand, which was a Zerg, it's basically how they say Zerg build is a rock paper scissors for the opener. You know, ZVZ, 10 pool beats 15 hatch, 15 hatch beats 14 pool, and 14 pool beats 10 pool. So I thought, well, the 12 pool expand build that I thought would be sort of the grenade in the rock paper scissors match. And then it flipped from that to talking about Protoss drops, and eventually I decided that I was going to do it on Phoenix Blink Stalker as a PvZ build, transitioning into Zealot Archon Void Ray and sort of promote it as a possible way to deal with Swarmhost Viper, because it's very, very mobile, very harass oriented, it's very quick moving, thing like that. But the problem with Zerg is that they've got so much map control. Oh my gosh, it's just so much vision. Nothing's going to happen. You couldn't slip a DT through this web. Well, I mean, you probably could. I mean, if he wouldn't be looking for it, but yeah, you see this? Nelva knows about it. I'm pretty sure, yeah, well, there's that Ling there. I think he can see the edge of this baby. No, he cannot. But still, if they take another step out, he will. Let's see what the is thinking. He's thinking... I don't know what he's thinking. It's just like watching that queen vomit all over that hatchery. Now, here's my thing. Some people wonder, what is the queen, where does it come from? Or basically the lore for a queen, they say, it talks about the incorporation of, human or Protoss DNA. And I mean, that does sort of look like a Protoss face. But here's the thing. You can't they can't incorporate Protoss DNA, right? So that means that queens come from human DNA. At least their intelligence. I mean, they do look like Kerrigan, mated with a drone, basically. Yep. Oh, man. I miss the old queens, though. I miss spawn broodling. Oh my gosh, that was OP. It's just like, oh, let's pick a unit. Dead. Instant kill. We do see swarm hosts. Now, do you notice they have that, a purple stripe, right there? That's pretty cool, actually. I gotta hand it. I don't even have this up any higher than medium. So, yeah. And if he had just sent that observer out a little farther, he would have seen those swarm hosts. Now, the problem with swarm hosts, I feel, the reason they're so very strong is that unless you kill the swarm hosts themselves, the locusts keep coming. If you can hold back the first locust wave, if you can hold it back, that's one thing. But holding it back really isn't important. You have to do more than hold it back. You have to kill the swarm host. Now he is going to move in. He did not have the enduring locust. We are seeing Time Warp, a very smart move. Oh my gosh, that is a brilliant move actually. I wonder if Time Warp affects the burrow time. If it does, then Time Warp might be the best thing against Swarm Host ever, basically. Oh my gosh, the Brood Lords are dead. Brood Lords are super fragile. I mean, they really are. They're just not that. They're like Sky Colossus. Well, they're worse than Sky Colossus because they're really slow. And how is Nelvahill gonna respond? He's not worried in the slightest. He's just like, what? That was just for fun. Yeah, I'm on 3 bases. I'm on 3 bases with Ultralisks. Now, I will also mention this is like never the base Protoss wants to take. Zerg will often take this as a third. Protoss will never, because this is so much easier to secure, and you can just keep your army here behind this wall. And then my mouse froze, but whatever. Persevere. I'm going to. Can I? No, I can't. I was going to try and make a box while doing that. Oh, there we go. You can, break this rock down, throw a pylon down there to check when that breaks, and keep your army here behind your wall off, and then just, go back and forth. Their run distance is larger than your run distance, so why not do it? In this case, you see, when you put your army here, if an attack is here, you have a much longer run distance to defend this area. They might not even come over here. They might not stay here. They might just run right in. I mean, can you imagine what? Because it's easily possible that Nelvahill could just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna make 32 speed lanes. I'm just gonna spam out some speed lanes, run them over here, and see what happens. Because what? They'd be basically free. They're basically free. I will mention that this is a very scary thing to look at for Protoss. Versus this kind of army, you almost... Well, look, Protoss needs to do Sky Toss. It's very much the late game composition, and a very necessary one. There is, I like to say Protoss has early game, mid game, late game, and then extra late game. And that very late game involves the transition out of robotics tech into Sky Toss. No matter what you do, you have to end up there in PvZ and ZV and PvT. Yep, and there come the Ultralisks. Don't know why that randomly flashed the Broodlord. Whatever, that's okay. The Ultralisks are going to murder absolutely everything here because Ultras do that. And that's the aim. I mean, I love how, despite the fact that he killed everything, he has nothing that can shoot up. He really could just run these Ultras to the base, but that mothership is right there. I will also mention that Time Warp, I don't believe it affects Ultralisks, because they are frenzied. I think it might not affect Ultralisks. I'd rather hope it does. By the way, he really should be trying to target down this Overseer. If he can kill the Overseer, he can basically protect all of his units for at least a short amount of time. Also, Colossus probably not the best choice. Would have preferred to have gone for the Immortals. I mean, as much difference as it makes right now. Just because when it comes down to it, Immortals are more effective, and Zealots are pretty much not effective. Anyways, if he just kills his Overseer, he's fine. If he just kill the... Oh, never mind. Just forget it. I just forget I said anything. You will notice that Mothership has, like, no attack whatsoever. She's not hurting these Ultralisks. It's not... Oh my gosh, I just realized something. Oh, look. It has... Oh, that is way cool. Those floating discs, orbs, whatever you want to call them, they have your turf symbol, your what is it called even? Wow, how am I completely forgetting? The decal. There we go. Decal, whatever. It is on. Oh my god, was that in Wings of Liberty? I feel like that wasn't in Wings of Liberty, but that is sweet. And these, that kills it. It killed an Ultralisk. Oh my god, it's killing the Ultralisk. Oh dying to these roaches over here. But I just love that this thing's killing an Ultralisk. I mean, really, it should be able to, because the Protoss mothership is like this super powerful unit. But whatever. Anyways, there was the GG game over. Funcast number 7. We'll be moving right on to